Hello and welcome to the I Am Vengeance. I am the Knight. I am Batman! Lordly verdict. I'm sorry, I just had to give that bloody line because it's the best line ever in Batman history. To the point where they actually use it in this very review. Well, this very game. Blech. Welcome to the Lordly verdict. Now, since Prototype 1 kind of had to get put to the side, I'll be doing some other games. I got really distracted, and quite frankly, the game bugged up so badly I had to get it on PS3, so that game's dead. I'm not going to be doing Prototype. We're going to be working on a game that I like a good bit more, actually. Batman Arkham Knight, which actually does originally take some cues from Prototype, interestingly. Though Prototype took some cues from other things, so yeah, tracing the cues is blech, it's not going to happen. But, well, why is it close to my heart? Because Batman Arkham Asylum and Batman Arkham City are some of my favorite games, to the point that I actually have them on multiple systems. Specifically PlayStation Plus and Steam. And they should probably be taught in classes on how to do open world RPG-influenced games. In content, it's actually been compared to The Witcher 3, though admittedly only in the fact that they take completely different but equally valid cues on how to do open world games. They have multiple quests, they keep things going, and in general are awesome. Now, this is the finale of the series. They straight out say, we're done. This is it. We're wrapping things up. And it was designed to end on a high note, and leads to a big problem. How does one improve on perfection when one has just improved on perfection? Rocksteady decided to just shake up the system. They added the Batmobile, and, well, everyone hated it. I mean, seriously, I have not seen one person who actually liked the Batmobile until I looked in the mirror. I liked the Batmobile. Please don't hate me. I'm a heretic and a heathen. Now, I'll admit, I didn't like it at first. See, there are actually two, maybe three distinct modes of play the Batmobile uses. The first is the pursuit event. You drive around in the car and pursue enemies. It's rarely used in any major event except for maybe the Batmobile races and a few mini side quests, specifically a side quest designed to show off pursuit mode. You drive around it in a car, go around town, run over bad guys who fly off with their taser, and hit them with the rag, boom, boom, with sand gun ammo. There are people who say, I've actually met them, that it's faster to glide and there's no point to it, and they're sorta right. See, the advantage of the Batmobile is you can get close to the ground, and you still move around fast. The GPS there lets you get to things real quick. You can look for Riddler stuff. You can find various side missions, defuse bombs, take out checkpoints, and see stuff around town. Plus, it's actually... you get into less trouble using the Batmobile because a lot of times, if you try riding around on the sky later on, you're going to get spotted by certain types of drones, and they'll try to hurt you. In the Batmobile, you can easily kill the tanks that try to do that and fight back. And the real focus of Batmobile events is tank mode. See, in this mode, you're a tank. The Batmobile goes, and it's got a big gun on the top, and you fight against an army of unarmed drones, and they justify why it's unarmed drones. The Arkham Knight specifically wants to give Batman a chance to prove he's better, which is really stupid of him, but in character, as I'll deal with in the story. It's Some may argue this doesn't feel Batman-y, except he's often, even since Arkham Asylum, used the Batmobile as a weapon. He plain out hit Bane with the Batmobile. And besides, it's kinda awesome. I mean, I didn't like it at first. The enemies took too many shots, and they were a bit easy to dodge, and then they introduced the extra stuff. They had a lot of enemies with crisscrossing fire. They introduced weak spots where a hit to the head kills them instantly. The Batmobile's damage got upgraded, and pretty soon I was facing against armies of 20, 30 guys. And I was just killing them, boom, 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 dodging left and right. And it was fun, kinetic, and fast. And most of all, it plays fair. This is a game where you can see where the enemies are attacking. They show it in clear lines, they give you a cue, and it's quite possible to dodge every single strike, and you are rewarded for doing so. Similar system to Metal Gear Rising Revengeance. You even get specials that you can unleash. You can send out a burst of 10 missiles that go and 10 guys explode. You can blast it, and a whole set of enemies just slowly turn to your side, start shooting up the other bad guys. You can even stun them all with an EMP burst to give you a chance to breathe. Basically, if you've ever played one of those games like Tanks, it's like that. If you haven't played it, it's extremely fun. Fast-paced, frantic, and never really gets boring. Seriously, I never got bored with the tank battles. I really enjoyed them. It was fairly difficult. Not in the sense of sort of difficult, I mean in the sense of it was difficult yet fair. If you die, it's because you did something wrong, you didn't try the right strategy, you need to tweak things a bit. And it got pretty darn hard. I did in fact die. So I tweaked the specials I was using and I won. As for Pursuit, it's a high-speed car chase through Gotham and comme ci, comme ça. I mean, the Batmobile turns on a dime, has precision controls, and can even turn into tank mode. Has a boost that can be upgraded has all the bells and whistles, but just lacks that certain je ne sais pas. Especially if you get behind the enemies. It doesn't work out. It's really best to just abort the mission in those cases. The problem is when you face an enemy like Firefly, the most wanted mission where he happens, and oh crap, that was the lights dimming. Please don't let my power go out again. It's kind of a thing where you're either winning easily or you're failing. There's no middle ground. There are 3 full-fledged races and some Riddler challenges too that kind of use it, but those are more asides, and I will say the races are really clever and fun, though. It's just that overall it lacks a certain something. And it's sort of good but not great, if you know what I'm saying. The races really are fun, though there's only 3 of them, plus some few challenges. Now, the final mode is a half mode. There are numerous puzzles in the game that I've actually seen sites sum up as Batman tries to park his car. It's fair. There are a lot of them, especially early on, which consist of open a door, put the Batmobile in front of the door, blow up the big wall behind you, and that's it. Fortunately, once they do some introductory stuff, they phase this out pretty darn quick, actually. It seemed like they included it just to show you the mechanic of, remember, the Batmobile can do this. And it has some clever twists, but really mostly it's just find a ramp, get Batmobile to ramp, huge jump, followed shortly by make an opening. It's not that good, and if anyone rants about the Batmobile sucking, they generally seem to talk to either this or just a sort of, I don't like it, it doesn't feel like Batman thing, based on the fact that apparently they just ran around shooting guys in the Batmobile, which really isn't what you're supposed to do. At least one guy complained about getting hit by a tank because he didn't use the Batmobile, and in those cases, the game specifically says what you're supposed to do. Yes, there are tanks running around Gotham. You're supposed to fight the tanks in the Batmobile, at which point the area is clear, and you can then run around punching guys in the face. And the tank battles, as I've said, are awesome. Especially later on when they introduce a ultra tank that you have to get behind it, and essentially you play stealth mode in the Batmobile, which is, oh god, that is awesome. It's fast-paced ultra stealth mode, and I really, really liked it. And I'll say this. I disagree with saying the Batmobile isn't Batman-y. They went to some effort to establish that Batman didn't kill anybody with the taser, the fact that the riot guns have a distinct thing, the fact that they show you the guy's unconscious, and it feels more like grumbling than a real true reviewer complaint. It's not a thing of what could they have done better with this. It's think of I don't like it. And there's no arguing. It feels like, to borrow a line from Penn and Teller, everything you did is wrong. At which point the argument is over. Now, they gave an alternative to that, but since I'm trying to stay family friendly to an extent, I'm not going to mention what they said. You can find it on the internet on Penn and Teller's YouTube channel. If you ask, is the Batman Mobile fun to play? The answer is yes. If you ask, does it fit into the story? The answer is yes. Rocksteady did everything they could to fit in the story. If you ask why all the hate is, I think because it's really new. It's different and to an extent a jarring change. It takes away from the core gameplay elements of Arkham City. It feels like a last-minute addition to the series. Not the game because it's well incorporated, but it's a last-minute addition to the series. It feels like they just added it because they were afraid if they didn't add something really new, the game would just feel like the same old, and I can see that logic, but it is overhyped. It is, good God, is it overhyped. And the fact of the matter is they could have probably taken it out, and they would have still had a good game. But, well, I liked it. It has the Rocksteady level effort put into it. You can tell they really tried hard to make the Batmobile work. And did they really need to? No. The gameplay is Rocksteady doing Arkham, and how could it not be awesome? I mean, seriously, they know the formula. They perfected the formula, and they keep to it. And they even avoid the issue that Arkham Origins had. It makes a job of slowly, steadily changing up the gameplay without ruining it. For instance, the electric gloves used in Origins, they ruined the gameplay. They were a game breaker. This doesn't have a game breaker. It's just fast, free-flow action you know and love. But they improve on it, adding new mechanics that make things more dynamic in a steady, subtle way. And they then make sure those new mechanics are well incorporated and necessary. For instance, Predator mode. You get upgrades. Batman can now stealth take down 3 guys at once. He moves faster in combat, and you start with all the abilities you gained in Arkham City, with the exception of the Disruptor. They leave the Disruptor for later. And they make sure the abilities get more awesome. You get grapple boost upgrades that allow you to run around the city even faster, which probably leads into the Batmobile hate. And speaking of the Batmobile, you can launch out of it at high speed and even do a takedown from the Batmobile, specifically for those people who don't like the Batmobile and want to just take down the guys on foot. In fact, in pursuit mode, you can knock the car out, guys run out of the car, you shoot at the Batmobile, knock into one guy, then look at the other guy and go, hey, you're next. At which point, a bunch of thugs nearby rush in to try to help their friends, and they are messed because it's Batman. Batmobile gets a cool little voice tracking device for Predator mode. So when a bunch of guys are sitting there, you can give them an order. Hey, it's me. I'm the Arkham Knight. Go check out that wall. Walk over to the wall. Boom! You hit the explosive gel, which fixes a problem that sort of came up in Arkham City, where it's hard to really get the guys right where you want them. Now you can. But if you use it too much, or you use it while they're busy, they won't pay attention to the order. Batman even gets the ability to overload shock rods and katanas and stuff, so you can fight weapon enemies hand to hand. It's a legitimate improvement over Arkham City. It takes the gameplay elements and moves them to the next level. And what's most important that Arkham Origins completely forgot, the enemies upgrade too. They start using a new mechanic at the very first part of the game. They just run up at me going, "Wah!" And you have to be quick to hit them with the batarang, knock this, go, thug. Well, he's out of it. And it's similar to the distraction thing you had to do with the Titans, who actually you don't face any Titans in this game, and rarely face Titans in Arkham City, which is kind of nice to have a new little Titan level enemy. They introduce brutes who have swords who fulfill the niche the Titans did. They're big, honking enemies that you have to kill with a beatdown. And they have brutes with swords, brutes with shock rods, so you have to chain multiple tricks to make them vulnerable. They have medics who can actually revive dead enemies so they can come back into the fight. So you have to learn the most important thing, which is shoot the medic first. And then you meet an enemy with two medics who can revive each other. Hoobly. And they can even charge up soldiers where the soldiers have an electric field. Now, if a soldier has an electric field, you have to make absolutely sure you don't face them in hand-to-hand. They bring back the ninjas from previous games, only they're better incorporated in standard things. You're going to face a lot of them instead of them just being a late-game addition. And they have more. They have sentry gun turrets that are strategically placed you have to figure out how to get past. Heck, they have high-level sentry turrets that are a Batmobile-level enemy in an area where you can't get the Batmobile unless you're very clever. They have drones that are remote-controlled, so the enemy can just sit there having a drone look around, and if the drone sees Batman, you get machine-gunned. And each one has a new way for Batman to mess them up. My favorite? You can sabotage the sentry guns or the drones so that when they fire, they explode. You can even get it from range. It's an expensive late-game upgrade, but very satisfying. You can even sabotage those Batmobile-level guns, which is crucial for completing a couple of minor side quests. The last bit, and the one that's very fun, if sadly underutilized, is dynamic team-ups. It's not full co-op and sadly restricted to some of the most wanted missions, but in the Riddler missions, the Penguin missions, and one small stretch of gameplay with Tim Drake, you team up with someone and just go at them twofold. I mean, you're switching between the guys dynamically with a press of the button. When you get up your combo gauge, use a double team up that can take out a brute in one hit, and each team up fights differently. Sadly, it's not well used, but is a really nice mechanic to the point where I'd actually want to see them use it in the sequel, which they're not making. Alas. And still, as I said, you can hit a brute in one hit, and you can jump between them. Now, there is one issue. The ending. Oh god, the ending. See, it has two, technically three endings. One is if you complete the main plot, you've stopped Scarecrow and saved the day, but that's not the end. You go straight on to the, well, not New Game Plus, you go on to wrapping things up. You don't really get a denouement. I like the phrase, denouement. It's just, you still have things to do. Second is you do the emergency protocol to declare it's over. It's not over until the game does not end and does not go to the credits until you hit the emergency protocol. And to do that, you have to complete half the most wanted missions, which are really short. And the denouement is really short. I'm talking 2 minutes. Now, for the final true denouement, which comes with an epilogue, you have to do all 14, including every riddle or challenger, to get it. And the epilogue is 3 minutes. So totally, it's a 5-minute epilogue. It's a denouement to the saga and a pretty good one, but damn is it short, and it's honestly not worth it. The real story kind of ends with Scarecrow's defeat and introducing the emergency protocol. After that, just YouTube it. And the wanted missions are sadly hit and miss. On the hit part, each individually is well done, and in a nice trick, each wanted mission is designed to take a specific portion of the gameplay, a specific set piece, and show it off. And especially the name missions are awesome, like Penguin is Free Flow, Two-Face is Predator, Firefly is Pursuit, Riddler is Puzzles. I'd have no complaints about them, as each one does a good job of escalating difficulty, etc., were it not for one thing. Some of the later ones, especially the bomb missions, the checkpoint missions, etc., they don't show up on your map. There's no way to find them out. And nothing breaks the game flow more than a pixel hunt, and especially the Stop the Militia missions that I mentioned. And if you're like me and you wait till the end to do them, it gets wearying. But, you don't have to do all of them. Most of the ones that are extras are completely unnecessary. But it's really sad because the previous game solved that issue with the towers. And while they took out the towers, it's clear that stopping the checkpoints probably should have shown off some stuff in the area under the thing. That said, it's really solved quickly by just having an interactive map up. And that makes the problem go away, and the awesomeness that is the missions can be experienced. I'm going to rate the gameplay 5 out of 5. The real only bad part is the most wanted missions. The stuff that I dislike is just stuff that's not holy crap awesome as much as just well done. And really, that's it for the gameplay. It has the standard, rock-steady, absolute, pure gold to it. This is a game that should be used in classes on how to divide individual mechanics and put them all together. And it's a good game and a worthy addition, except for the story, which I'll get to next time. This was the Lordly Verdict, and remember, I am vengeance. I am the night. I am Batman! Whoosh. I didn't press